up, what's up, what's up? It's Sharado on the Ash Sharado Show right here on listenvisionlive.com. I almost forgot where I was tonight. I took a week off and I forgot.
It's been a long day.
Here tonight with my co-host Grindstone.
Love.
Our producer, the Urbanista.
Hey, hey.
And special guest tonight, Gabe Williams.
Hello, hello.
So Gabe, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do and how to find you on social media?
Well, definitely. You know, I'm an entrepreneur independently, which means, for one, I got my design under my belt. I'm a designer. So definitely I got my clothing line I have too. I also do tattoos. I'm a painter and an illustrator. So I'm currently working independently when I need to, and also work with Marriott, Ritz-Carlton, designing on their website and all of that. So I'm actually the design lead down there. So
nice. Yeah. And how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Dreamin', which is J-R-E-A, M as in manifest, N as in Nirvana. So that's Dreamin'.
Nice.
So.
Well, as always, we want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media at Ash Sharado and call us 202-758-8607. That's 202-758-8607. Tonight's topic, drunk in love. When is enough enough? This is the Urbanista's topic. She must be feeling drunk in love.
No, not even.
She's gonna start something.
The topic actually came from not only experiences that I've had, but experiences of friends that, you know, have had relationships in which they feel so into someone or so attracted or even connected to someone that they can't necessarily find a way to let that go. There's always something that brings them back, whether it's me or those other people, like something that brings you back to the same situation that you're like, I'm done. This is it. It's over. Like, I think about the movie Baby Boy, right? When it's like, okay, forget you, Jody. Jody, I hate you. It's over. It's over. And then what they do, they're right back together like a week later. Like, there's some relationships in which you find yourself like, I'll never be with that person ever again. And then a month later, 2 months, however long, you're right back there again. So why does that happen?
Well, I know why.
Oh, well, Grindstone has all the answers, Sway.
Well, all right, we go through an eternal battle between our heart and our mind. It's eternal. And a lot of the time, well, all the time, our mind carries the ego. That's like who we want to be, what we want to be doing, how we want to carry it. But then our heart carries something that might be a little more pure. It might be a little more foolish. And so a lot of times the heart just doesn't really understand the logistics of what you're going through, but it really doesn't need to know because it just knows love and it's just pumping love. But then the mind is like, yeah, but that don't fit in this box or this box or that box. And then so your ego changes from love to control. Like it wants to control something that's kind of uncontrollable.
What about your spirit? How's that fit into that?
Well, that's when I say heart, that's what I mean. I mean like your heart organ. I mean, it lies within your heart, but that's your spirit. But the control is the problem. Like when you try to control the reason why the person's in your life, and we all do.
But are you saying the control aspect of things is where you can't let go? Or is that the logic side or the love side? Where's the control?
Well, it depends on the different situations, but oftentimes when things are going bad, not being able to let go, it's a battle that goes in between insecurity and it loses its sense of service because you're not trying to like serve the person or serve the situation. You're trying to actually protect yourself from loss, which is egotistical. And then so in that situation, you might hold on to something a little too long.
Or maybe you just, you're so connected to this person on a spiritual, soulful level that logic can't take over. I mean, the spirit is taking over, so you just can't do that. I don't know if there's a pure science to that. What do you think, Gabe?
So I think when you talk about spirit, right? Of course, when you together with somebody, it's a spiritual connection, right? Which means essentially y'all plugged into each other, right? So y'all get that fulfillment when y'all with each other, right? The heart will tell you if you're not fulfilled. Right, so if you're feeling that, your spirit's gonna communicate that to you.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. So the logical side is actually communicating to the heart.
It is, but you process it through the mind. to be beefing and be in conflict because your heart might want something, but your mind know that it ain't the best thing for you.
I trust my mind before I trust my heart, though.
And I'm the opposite.
But you know that depends on your makeup too.
Yeah.
You know, if you a Cancer, like
Wait, are you a
Courtney-
Cancer?
No,
I was
The
about to say.
Urbanista.
I'm a Pisces.
Okay.
Well,
Watch
don't
it.
you lead? You guys lead with your heart too, Pisces.
We lead with intuition,
Which is your heart.
not necessarily just the heart. We lead with
it's
intuition.
more on the heart side than the logical side, though.
I would say, yeah, compared to like a Virgo
or
who-
Gemini.
or a Gemini, y'all.
And where's the
air
crystal
sign.
ball? I got my
Where's
turban.
Ron? Side-eye. Who
Yeah, but I
knows
think
Ron?
it's tough, like, because we have so many things where our ego rules. We want immediate comfort. We want satisfaction. We want what we think is satisfaction, but we're not looking further. But what we lose sight of is the fact that everybody who comes in your life is a teacher. And so a lot of the times, like, you got to sit on this lesson you're learning until you learn the lesson. Whatever the lesson is, I don't know what it is. And while you're in class, you might call that class love, but you know, you're really learning something.
That's right.
But I think love serves somebody. So it says, when do you know it's good to, what does it take for you to absolutely decide to cut somebody off?
Like, when is love not enough? Like, for everybody at the table, like, when you decide, like, no, this is it.
When it becomes toxic.
Yeah, when you learn the lesson.
Really?
I think it's
Yeah.
so dependent. I think it's so dependent on the person, though.
When I say toxic, meaning I'm gonna define what I mean when I say toxic. That means that your energy starts to be depleted with your interaction with that person, right? As opposed to be replenished.
Yeah.
When you with somebody, you're supposed to feel good consistently. Of course, y'all had it up and downs, but y'all supposed to seek balance through all that, right?
Yeah.
So when you stop feeling replenished by that situation,
Right.
and every time you're around that person, you get depleted, your energy's low, and you sitting there holding your head and your stomach feeling all messed up.
You might want to bounce.
Yeah, that's when your body know.
I think it's so dependent on the person that you're dealing with, though, because even though you might need to let somebody go, it's not always that drastic as you feel like they're depleting you. You might just not feel like they're doing anything. It might be a very stagnant situation where they're just not taking you to that next level, or vice versa. You're not taking them to that next level. So it could just be a very, very stagnant, ungrowing type of situation.
And what do you think? When you cutting somebody, when does somebody get the hatchet in your life?
I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask because I feel like it depends on the person and the situation. Like, there are certain things that one person I can be like, okay, if this mofo does this again, that's it. But maybe somebody else does other things that benefit my life and make my life better. Or
And
make
it
me better.
balances the bad out.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's really difficult to define a term like an act. And this is like straight up disrespect, like hitting me, doing something to my family or like my money, or like violating me in a way that's like obviously not okay.
Well, I mean, you don't want to like reward behavior that you don't want repeated. Like, so if somebody does something crazy, you don't want to sit there like, okay, that was all good.
Yeah, but what is crazy though?
Okay, well then I guess, you know, that's based
Yeah,
on
I
how you
think
feel.
it's like really based on what's foundational to you. You know, what are those foundational things that you know that you have to have in a person, or if they're violating all of those foundational ideals, so to speak.
I think everybody at this table and beyond has had a situation in which they've had foundational beliefs about what they I ain't dealing with no to do this or do that. And then you get in that situation and you be like, well, it wasn't really that bad. Like, maybe I mean, at least once in your life, there's been things that you've experienced that you usually wouldn't actually be okay with.
Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. Of course.
Always. And that's the biggest thing. So for me, it's like, I don't look at it like, okay, this happens, I'm done. I look at it like, when I'm done, I'm done. So what I
Why do you say when you're done, you're done? How do you know? How wise are you? When you're done, you're done. How do you know?
It's not about wisdom. It's about what I feel okay with and what I don't feel okay with. What I'm willing to tolerate, I'm not okay with tolerating. Because,
Well, do you feel depleted, like Gabe said, or is it?
I mean, every relationship, when you have ups and downs, at some point you're going to feel depleted. But do I feel like I'm going to die, or I feel like
Ups and downs is different than depleted, though. Like, ups and downs are part of everyday life, friendship, any kind of relationship.
maybe when Gabe needs to like really elaborate.
Yeah,
on,
let
like,
me
being
break it
depleted.
down a little bit, right? So, first you got to consider that every relationship is different, right? You know, whether you're talking about a relationship that's just a friendship or somebody that you're in love with and you seeking the future with, right? So there's a different dynamic and a different definition of every friendship that you might have. So every friendship is really defined by how you and that individual kind of bring it together and come to terms about what it is that y'all want to be friends upon. You know, you might have somebody you might just go out to the club and party with. You might have somebody you can confide with. You have somebody you can travel with, you know. And then you got somebody you might be in love with or pursuing for that.
So I was reading this book called True Love, right? It's not a novel, but it's just it's a book that you can refer to. And it says when somebody hurts you, one thing that you should do, because you're in pain, you should go to that person and you should say, I'm in pain, I need you. Which is telling the truth. But at that point, you're really...
Vulnerability, huh? On the table.
Yeah, but you might be too hurt to say that. You know, you might have built your gate already.
Pride.
My ego's too big for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So again, there's different levels of vulnerability to every dynamic that you engage with. Somebody that you just cool with, you might not feel as vulnerable around them on a level.
Of course.
Whereas somebody you might be, you know,
But that's real, Grindstone, because I feel like once you say that, if that person does not react to that or doesn't respond to that in some way that's supportive, then clearly.
Yeah, then I mean, at that time, it's like, okay, well, this isn't the place for me to get this satisfied, but I've done my part. You know what I'm saying? And then so it's like, all right, well, that's cool. I've learned, and then hopefully you've learned your lesson. But once you look at relationships like lessons, once you've learned the lesson, it's really easy to leave.
Well, and that's not too different than a friend of mine told me that the best piece of advice an older friend of his gave to him was when he's in a fight with his girlfriend, wife, significant other, that they hold each other's hands.
That's powerful.
And
then does it turn
the
to
first
a
time, no, but
playing mercy.
But the first time I tried that, I'm like, oh, that's really hard to be evil. It's really hard to be evil when you're holding somebody's hand, looking in their eyes. Like, you just can't. Like, you can't even stay as mad as you thought you were.
That power of physical touch is really big. And those, oh my gosh, I don't even want to. I'm
you having a moment, Urbanista?
Yes.
So maybe we should all practice that when we're in a fight with someone. We should hold each other's hands.
That's going to turn to sex. No doubt. That was an argument to
it doesn't
sex
necessarily have to be. It could be a friend. I mean, you guys could be in a fight with a female.
He better not be attractive because it's going down at that moment. Like that energy, like when you're angry and like everything is like, seriously?
Okay, so is tolerance or acceptance based on a spiritual or a sexual connection? How do you feel about, and it's so funny that like in here you've written soul ties. How do you feel about like when people have soul ties? Do you think it's more spiritual or more physical?
I think soul ties are spiritual.
Definitely.
Because you can have sex with somebody and it could be like great sex and it's like, oh, that was great. But you could not even have sex with anybody. Like that with that person, never had sex with them ever in your life. And still
you can't really have earth-shattering sex with somebody that you don't have a soul tie to.
But the sex might create that. Because when you have sex with somebody, they become part of you, you become part of them.
And that's what I feel. When you have sex, you still exchanging energy at the end of the day. Y'all giving each other y'all energy because you plugging in.
Man, it's so interesting. I was in LA this past weekend, right? And I sat down at this random spot, and a lady came. Well, actually, I saw her earlier. She came and sat down, and she was an evangelist. And so I asked her, like, I was like, why are you here? I thought like everybody was there for the BET Awards. Why are you here? And so she was like, she's here. She was there celebrating being done with cancer. Like she was like, that was like her 9th month done with cancer or something like that. And so I was like, man, she got a story to tell. She's like, I just prayed cancer away and changed my eating habits, but none of the medicine worked. smoked a bunch of weed, right?
Wow.
And got right, but beat cancer.
That's
so
a lot of people's story, though.
So then, like she was talking about, she was also away from a relationship that she was in, and she was breaking her soul ties. And then she started talking about soul ties, like when you have sex with somebody. So I'm kind of plagiarizing what she was telling me, but she goes around the world and
Breaking soul ties?
That's
no,
serious.
she goes around the world and preaches to congregations about this stuff, and sat here and had like random one-on-one.
We should approach this again.
Yeah, it was dope. So right now we're going to a break, and we'll be right back on the Ash Serato Show on Listen Vision Live. We're breaking soul ties.
Break 'em.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for a commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
We're back on the Ash Serato Show on listenvisionlive.com, talking about Drunk in Love. When is enough enough? Hit us up on social media. We want to hear from you at Ash Serato, and call us at 202-758-8607. So I think we left off talking about soul ties, but we wanted to talk a little bit also about when is love worth fighting for beyond what appears to be common sense. And that's a difficult question. I mean, as we already said before, there's certain people, certain situations, different dynamics that we have with others that make us more connected and more willing to tolerate certain things. And then if you're not as connected, then you probably don't have the same tolerance level as you do with the next person.
I agree. And I think that sometimes you have to look at, in a relationship, not just the day-to-day, but what is the overall benefit and what are the overall negative aspects. And when you have to make decisions about whether something is beneficial to you, do you have more benefits from that relationship or more weaknesses from that relationship? Because no relationship is going to be perfect.
Right. Well, see, and then that's when you get into the love versus the ego, because the ego will have you insecure, and then you start trying to hold on to something in fear of your loss.
Are you calling the ego logic, though?
It's not. It's totally illogical. It thinks it's logic, but it's logical insecurity.
I'm not really feeling you on that one.
Because love can be logical. It can make a lot of
No,
sense.
No, I don't
it
think love is
can't.
Like, it can make a lot of sense.
No way. Love is not logical. You have no control.
Logic
over
is
love.
methodic. Like logic is like there you go. Like that we can get into the whole logic games that you play when you go to college. Like if logic is logic, it makes sense or it don't. It don't have nothing to do with how you feel.
No, I'm just saying, when you get to the point where you're holding on, a lot of the times you're holding on because you are fearful of the loss of what you began.
So the concept is, I feel you. Like you talking
You got
about
love and fear. You
talking
got those
about
two things
fear.
to choose
That's
from.
what he's talking about is fear, because there becomes a point where you know that you might love somebody, but you might be afraid of the hurt if you lose them, or the attachment breaking and just the other side, or what it might even be. So it's like, yeah, you might be engaged with that person and love them, but you might not know that situation. You might know that situation ain't the best for you. So then you might have to, make a transition for yourself, but at the same time, you afraid.
Those growing pains are hard. Growing pains
Yeah,
always
that
hurt.
shit
They're
hurt.
tough.
That shit hurt.
Even if you gonna grow to be 7 feet tall and get all your money in the league, to grow to be 7 feet tall, your knees hurt.
It hurts.
Oh
Your back is
God.
gonna hurt. It's
But
gonna hurt to get great.
everybody done felt it.
Right.
Everyone's been through it, and that's what you talk about insecurity, because through fear comes insecurity.
Yeah, so let's just deal with love and fear. I mean, like if it's not fear, if it's not love, then it's fear. And if it's fear, then that's your mind playing tricks on you.
I don't know that you guys
Yeah,
get a little bit
that's-
too far
it
off.
is.
Yeah,
tangent right
fear,
now.
fear and logic. I feel like there can be logic. Why can't you throw logic in there? Because just because you're logical doesn't mean you're fearful.
Think about it. When you have a
Logic
friend
is
that comes
built
to you
into it.
about their relationship and you're looking from the outside in and you hear that, like everybody, I feel like in general, everybody has been in a situation where they hear something and they give awesome advice. Like,
I think you're
you should
afraid to
do
be
this.
scared.
What?
No, she's definitely not afraid to
that's
be
fear
scared.
squared.
No, I'm not afraid
She
to. I'm not
signs
afraid
up for it.
I sign up for all things that move my heart and soul that I feel like I believe in. I am all for it. And I fail, then I just fail, and I just get back up and realize that shit ain't work. Like that's my logic. I'd
All right,
rather
so-
just do that and then like realize that and fail and feel like that than not even try. Like just regardless.
Because she's a
professionally.
sucker for love.
I am
Some
I am
people willing-
I'm recovering undercover over lover, like Erica Badu said.
Right.
Like I'm all that. I
That's
love
because you're
all
a
aspects
Cancer.
of life.
Right,
So
that's-
like professionally, like relationship wise, friendship, like everything. I give my
So
all.
let me ask you a question: are you afraid to be vulnerable? Then
No, that's the
Right.
problem. I'm not
See,
afraid.
some people are,
Right. And that's when that
and
fear
that's the
love
that's
starts
the,
battling.
that's the distinction right there. If you're willing to put your vulnerability on the table,
I feel
Only
better
for
putting that out
only
there
for
on the
very
table.
very special people am I willing to do that.
See?
And there needs to be a level of comfortability that I might have not even realized when it happened.
right?
But vulnerability to me equals control.
Right.
So
See, vulnerability to me means relinquishing control,
Yeah.
because you have to let go of what's normal to you.
no.
in order to
So I
step
think we're
outside
saying the same
yourself.
thing. I'm saying that other person has.
Like you're
So
being
what
They have
controlled.
control.
So what distinguishes
Yeah.
the difference between being a sucker for love or loving unconditionally? Like the idea of loving someone
I
unconditionally.
don't love unconditionally, but I'm a sucker for love.
See, I love unconditionally, but
I
I am
do.
not a sucker for love.
Me too.
It works.
Wait, how does
differently.
that? So wait. We have like three different. Okay, because okay, you guys tell me the difference between like being a sucker for love and loving unconditionally. Because I feel like a lot of times when you love unconditionally, you become a sucker for love.
No.
But it doesn't have to do with your interaction with that person. You can still love them and not necessarily like show them that you love them.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, I love many people unconditionally. It doesn't mean I'm going to be with them.
Like family,
It,
friends.
but it could be someone that I used to be in a relationship with.
right?
There's a level of loyalty there that will always exist. It's unconditional love, but I'm not a sucker for whatever love that was provided within that situation to stay or to deal or to whatever. So I think there's a difference. I can love you unconditionally, but I'm not necessarily going to stay.
Now, when I say sucker for love, I mean like I enjoy loving somebody and something, and like I like to go. I like to do that.
Oh, well, yeah,
And-
so do
and
I.
And I like to be like I don't mind being vulnerable in those situations. Like I'm cool with that.
Me
So we
too.
gotta define what it means to be a sucker, though.
Yeah.
Just somebody where you just like, oh, there's like, where you're not like, you alright.
I think of
But
being
it's
a sucker
like,
for love is
baby, I
when
love you.
Right?
But some people like, you
Yeah, but
alright
some
for a
people
long
are
time.
like, some people act like that, like, baby, I love you, but their actions aren't showing you, baby, I love you. So it's just a bunch of lip service, which negates
I think being
the
a
whole
sucker
thing.
for love is when you fully, wholeheartedly believe in that person and what the relationship is and what it should be, rather than looking at what's actually going on. Like, you believe in that person
Right.
so much that you just like, I know that you told me that you was at the club last night, even though I know I drove past your house and your car was out front.
And I was wearing,
never
and I
done
was
this.
wearing all black.
And like, I'm just saying,
So,
like,
that's
I
just
think that
dumb.
being a sucker for love
That's
is when
just
you're
dumb.
like,
that's not a sucker for love.
I mean, okay, I'm just saying, I was extreme. I'm just saying in general, it's like when you know it's not really what this person is saying to you, but you really want to believe that. But that's a sucker for love. Like, you really still want to believe in that person
Right.
because you love them so much that you want that to be.
I understand what you mean.
Even though you know, like,
That's a
come
problem.
on
I think we
now.
need a
get
new
it.
phrase for that. I don't know what that is, but I don't
Let's
think that's sucker
run the
for love.
Tupac's track. Run the Tupac's track. We got that already
Well,
over
sucker
there.
for love. Well, no, you know, a lot of it is like you might want to, in your head, and this is a huge mistake. Like, in your head, you're like, I did this so crazy before one time, and it was so unfair.
Yes, cancers.
it was so unfair that everybody involved. Like, I was like, ooh, there she goes. Look at what she's doing. Ooh, she does this. That means she's this. And so we got together. Everything was cool, but I was expecting her to become this thing that I thought that I had painted like in the first 20 minutes of seeing her. I was waiting on her to become that. It was so unfair to her for me to expect that of her. And so, like, I waited. I believed in her that she could become this, but that was not her path. And so here I go with my ego. That was my ego that was waiting on her to become this thing that I had painted. I was not even open to the lesson that she was there to teach me until way later. Until we had a failed relationship.
So it turned into appreciation afterwards.
Way afterwards. Way after it was depreciation.
Yeah. So I think what that is, that's how you heal from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
and I was
gotta
like, man,
change
she
your
wasn't even
perception.
that. Why did I do that to us?
So does being a sucker put you in a position to be an enabler or accept negative behavior?
I think accept negative behavior, because that's at the point where you've been in a relationship with somebody and then they just doing everything backwards. You hear
You
me?
waiting like, but I know you could do it.
You hear me? They ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You know, they might have some good sex and all that, and that might keep you hooked. But at the same time, you got to deal with so much argumentative behavior and all types of other real scattered energy, and you see lying, but you see between the lines.
I
but
like to
you
hear
don't
about
know
some
for
personal
sure.
experiences on the table.
We
Oh.
we're all afraid. We're all
Everybody's in denial.
No, you guys
right
aren't
here.
afraid, so you have a lot of personal
Yeah.
experiences
Yes.
to
No,
share.
so,
Clearly, we need to talk about some personal experiences.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Man, pick a number between 1 and 10. No, just playing.
10.
No, okay. I've often found myself in situations where I overlooked the lesson that was there, right? And I can't get too personal because I don't know who's watching, and then
That never stopped you before.
there's a problem. No, but I'm saying I've been in situations where I've definitely, well, like I just said, like I found out that people were beautiful people after the fact. But
We want specific juice.
Let's
Like, come
cut
on.
all the
Like, that's so
circumstantial
general.
bullshit. Like, just wrap it up, B.
Or Gabe, you can start.
Okay, Gabe, you go ahead and
I
start.
gotta get my work.
personal-
Well, look,
together.
man, look.
And we've been friends since we were in the 7th grade, so I already have some ideas, but I'll just let you speak about.
Well,
Oh, you gonna put him on blast?
On blast.
well, you know, I gotta first conceal identities, so I'm, you know,
Of course.
To protect the innocent.
yes, gotta protect the innocent. You know,
That was a battlefield.
there was one person once upon a day that was with another person, right? And I think their primal attraction was because they had really good vibe in the beginning. They hit it off real good. Everything was smooth. everything was bomb, right?
Now this is your relationship, or you talking third?
Oh,
person
you
or
acting, yeah, he asking questions I can't answer that.
Okay.
It's his friend
I-
and his
I-
other
I-
friend.
Well, I'm not gonna, no, definitely, look, I'll say this, it wasn't me. I'll tell y'all this.
It wasn't me.
It was
Shaggy.
definitely not me. So, to answer your question, no.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't do this. I was
Okay.
a part of the situation, but basically, you know, things happened in that relationship where it started to really deteriorate. They interactions became real insecure. Somebody might have cheated on the other person, and then it started to get tainted, and you know, then there's insecurity, and then you can really see from the outside looking in that, all right, this ain't really the healthiest situation for you, right? So when you see that happen, you might just put a bug in their ear and say, you know, you might want to reevaluate your situation.
Yeah.
But then they like, oh, I'm good. You know, they hear you, but they don't.
And they go cry in the shower.
You know, or they come vent to you and all of that. But then the next week, they all on Instagram taking selfies together, and and you confused, right? Because it's like you wasn't even with that person a week ago. You wasn't even.
About
So
a week
then
ago.
when you see that cycle keep
Hey, a
going
lot
on,
can happen in a week.
A lot
lot.
can happen in a week,
But
though.
But when you
That's
see that
true.
cycle becoming normalized, though,
Yeah.
and that becomes the nature of their relationship,
Keep
where they actually
running.
start to like look for the drama to be the source of the energy, because they fight and then more than they love each other.
Yeah. That's
and
a
then,
problem.
and then that becomes normal in their mind. So then, you know, their whole situation becomes distorted. So
Yeah.
to me, that's when it's you being a sucker for
You've
love.
never been in that situation?
Hell no.
All right, I've been in that situation.
Nah, hell nah. I think everybody in their life goes through that situation. At one point in your life, you've been in a situation where you've been a sucker. You didn't realize it in the moment, but everybody has had that experience at some point in their life, whether you're a teenager, a grown person.
Okay, let me tell you something, because you're not even talking about your own experience either.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
That's never a
All
problem.
right, go
You know
ahead.
that.
Speak to the church.
Oh. Oh no, I'm just saying, like, in my life, I feel like it's only one person that I've ever felt that way about. Like, I just felt like a sucker. Like,
Has this been in the last 10 years or like your teen years? Or what part of life was this in?
I would say within the last 5 years.
Okay.
And I felt like I just had a connection with this person so deeply that it was difficult for me to shake. Like, normally, even our guests would say that in my younger years, my late 20s, early 20s, or prior to that, I never really held on to anybody. Like,
So what was it about y'all connection that
I don't know. I
So
still
was
don't
it
know.
physical?
there was something there?
It wasn't just, I mean, physical was great, but it wasn't just that. Because I've had great physical connections with people, and I never really cared about, you know, whether that meant anything beyond that. I never cared. Like, when I was single, I was single. However, with this one person in particular, I just felt like I cared beyond what they were giving me. And I had to let it go. Because I realized that they didn't feel the same way about me. And I think there's really a connection sometimes when you meet somebody, even in friendships or familial relationships, that you guys are actually blood related, and you have people in your family who you're more close to than others
We're
that you're
talking
not.
about love.
Yeah, love.
No, I'm talking about all of those things right now. I'm saying that sometimes you're connected to somebody more than you should be on the surface, and you don't really know why. And this person in particular, I was very connected to them. I didn't really know why I was so connected to them. I mean, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's when you were supposed to surrender. Because love is stronger than pride.
But if you surrender, then what?
I don't know, you gotta listen to the rest of the song. Sade wrote it.
Well, then you're being fearless, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're surrendering and if you're willing to, and I mean, to be honest with you, Urbanista, does love have to be treated equally? Like, does the other person always have to give what you're giving? Or in some relationships, are you going to be the one that's giving more and the other person giving
You
less?
shouldn't keep
No,
score.
and that's
It
part
should be
that no,
equal.
not at all, because that's part of why
I don't know if it
I
should
knew
be
that.
equal.
I don't think it should be equal, because I feel like I will still
You shouldn't
care
keep
about that
score.
person. I'm not going to keep score. but I'm not gonna be stupid. So I can still care about that person, love that person. Doesn't mean that I have to be available the way they want me to be or do things they want me to do because they're not doing those same things for me. Like, that's when you have to make a decision about, okay, well, regardless of how I feel about you and how I think about you and how my soul or my spirit, whatever, connects with you, that doesn't mean that I have to be stupid and sit here and wait for you, like, while we go to break.
Well, you know.
That was the cue, our producer. Well, on that note, we'll be right back on the Ash Sherrod Show in just a few minutes on listenvisionlive.com.
Yeah. When I pull up on a nigga, tell that nigga bad back. I'm too good with these words, watch a nigga backtrack. If I die, all I know is I'm a motherfucking legend. It's too late for my city, I'm the youngest nigga reppin'. Oh my God, oh my God. If I die, I'm a legend. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. I'm a first, I'm on tour. Got a girl, she from the side. Used to work, used to dance in Texas, now she clean up.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
A young brown-skinned goddess made money of God. Where my sister's at? Where my sister? She believed this radio, TV media is really what's up. Where my sister's at? Man, it tricked her. She was just a sheep amongst wolves until they offered a job. Where my sister at? Where my sister? Lingerie, weed and weaves, the streets embraced her with open arms. Where my sister at? And she's a stripper. So appealing. Feeling. I love this one. You know I like you, right? No, really I do. Silly me almost said I do in a strip club ballet line. How'd they find? Just my height, size, and flavor. Ice in the cup, panties on her ankles, from the ceiling she dangles. She make the player haters pay to hate. Tricking like a magician. This vixen got them in submission. They forking up coins and she gotta pay tuition. It all started giving the teacher an apple, getting them smiles, converting inches to miles. I keep a bad red bone on speed dial. I'm climbing like homie. Dude, girl all on me. She said her boyfriend is phony and his money is bony. She do it all for the money, all for the money, all for the money. Even if she be all for the money, all for the money, all for the money. Baby, do nitty bitty, all for the money, all for the money, all for the money, all for the money, gang, for the money, all for the money. She was all about the money, baby. Middle Eastern queen, senorita diaspora mama, offer no drama. Matter of fact, just bought some flowers for your mama. Herbs for you, hors d'oeuvres for two. Moreover, I'm respecting the game, and you are too. Bar method insanity, your body's insane. I got an addiction to you, damn near wanna change your last name. I say the funky rhymes that make the girls undress. Nigga ran up on me, now the population's one less. I wanted to take my new boo to Nobu, she acted up too fast though. Turned out to be an asshole. I love how you do it for the cash flow. Businesswoman of the year, I shed a tear if you bounce. You bout that calculator, and that shit counts. You do it all for the money, all for the money. And sometimes love is all for the money.
Is it?
Yeah. And we're going to discuss some of that on this Ask Gerardo show version of Love and When It's Time to Bail. Call us in 202-758-8607. Call us with some of your personal opinions and love situations. We'd appreciate that. So where do we leave off?
Well, we want to talk a little bit about what makes certain people over lovers. Like, what's the sign of insecurity or weakness? How do you get over someone? How does that all work?
Well, like a great American poet once said, Lil Wayne, I forgot what all my old hoes look like. Right?
Wait, what?
No. It's not easy, but let me tell you, the best time I ever got over somebody, this is what I did. I said to myself, I'm not fit to date anyone else, and I didn't date anybody. Like, I didn't even look for that. Like, I might have a good conversation with somebody, we're not exchanging numbers, and I did that until one morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm over it.
Over that other person that you couldn't get over?
Yeah.
So you
But
feel
I
like
sat
You
with-
took some appropriate amount of you time,
I
me
sat with
time.
that. It might have been like 90 days exactly. Like, it was like 3
Ooh,
months.
that's
No
a
one leave the
really
ark
long
alone. Jail
time.
I sat with that.
40 days and 40 nights or what? Like, jeez Louise. Like, I can't even, like...
But I'm saying, on that 90th day, I went out, I fluffed up my lion's mane,
You're so disciplined,
and
grandson.
I went outside and bumped into my next girlfriend, who was my ex-girlfriend from like a long time ago, and I did her wrong, and I was young. But that day I met her, and I've been trying to catch up with her for like 7 years.
See, that's the law of attraction, right?
Yeah,
there.
straight up. I wasn't ready before that. I wasn't ready. But I could have easily gone out and like leaned on somebody and like, you know, treated them like a safe place. I could have done that.
Let me tell you what I do. I take a vacation.
You take a lot of vacations.
I book a trip. Look, you book a trip to somewhere that's beautiful, nice sunshine, blue water, and you take a dive in that water and you eat some good food and you drink some good ass rum and some shit. And you
It
chill.
makes it all go.
How many
the pain
vacations,
go away.
And let me
babe, how many
tell you.
vacations you been on since in 2015?
3. But
Hey, wait, so is this do you have a return ticket, or is that a one-way and then you book it when you get over it? You
it
book a
depends
return.
on where I go.
Okay.
If I go to Brazil, I book a one way
Get over that quick.
and
Yeah,
I
it's
get
like-
back when I get back.
Tell the kids I ain't
Of
coming
course.
out.
Yeah, it depends on where I go. Most recently, I went to Barbados, and let me tell you that I just broke up. I got out of a relationship probably about 3 months ago, something like that, right? But I booked a trip around there and said, you know what, this is why I need to do something to make me feel good, because breakups don't feel good. Would y'all agree?
Right.
It's true.
Some of them feel great.
They might actually
I
depend.
mean, it really
Maybe that
depends.
makeup
Depends
sex
on
might
the
be-
Well,
relationship.
let me tell you like that. If you dating somebody cool and y'all truly know y'all got a connection, but it just ain't working out
It is not
because
working.
y'all not seeing eye to eye about something, you know, and then y'all just split ways because of that's just how it is. You know, you gotta do something for you,
Yeah.
for real.
But then, okay, tell me this. While you're eating good, drinking good, swimming good, the
And
women
everything
are
else
good,
that starts with
everything is
that's
right.
good.
You still got the love below talking to you.
You talking to yourself.
Right, but I'm saying it's still
Telling
that
yourself-
feeling,
The
where you like,
feeling of
I
missing
still
that
got
person.
But you know what? When you travel, you not going through all that.
But what about when you come back? What about when you lay down at night
When you-
and ain't no, that one unfortunate night when ain't nobody next to you?
There's a level of emotional healing that goes on when you're gone.
Okay.
So when you come back, if you allow yourself to do that emotional healing, and like you said earlier, change your perception of I'm sad because I don't have XYZ to I appreciate this situation because of the lesson that I learned and for what it was, you can focus on that because you don't have that distraction of proximity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but wherever you go, there you are. So that's another thing. But it does
True.
still make it does. What you're saying does make sense. I mean, dog owners say when your dog's about to die, go buy a puppy. Like, you know, so it shortens your suffering.
Well, and that kind of, you know, some people like
they're dog owners,
yourself,
they're not like
Grindstone, you take 90 days, and some people just fill that space immediately.
Some people feel
They
like,
might
for
need-
me,
they might need a
to
buffer.
make themselves feel better. I mean,
I'm
need
very,
a buffer,
I'm a
you
very
right.
emotional person. I'm very connected to people. But once I am done, I am done. So, unlike Dreamin' or Gabe, who's here right now, like I don't have to go anywhere. Like when I am done, that hammer goes down.
That's your ego doing that though, because you don't know.
I don't care what does it, but I like my
but
emotions.
it could have been a
taken out of it.
gradual thing over time.
I mean, it takes
it's like-
time.
it
I'm
takes a
talking
lot-
about
yo,
the
yes, it
process of
definitely does.
healing because in your mindset, yeah, you make a decision that I'm done, but then you got to deal with.
But I don't make a decision. I will
the-
go through a lot of things. And I'll be like seriously emotionally invested until I decide. Like I'll be the fool.
But let
like
me tell you-
several times, and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, nope, I'm done. And then when I realize I'm done,
Then you're done.
the next I am done. But then the other person comes back and is like,
We know you're done.
now, okay, yes, I am
But see,
done.
this is one of the problems with the human condition, as we know it. Humans seek comfort and fun all the time, and ignore these other things as a part of the human experience. And then so when part of your lesson is there, when part of your human experience is there, you try to cover it up with fun that you can't really have all the fun in the world with. Because this other thing is
That's
sitting
so
there waiting to be your,
that's so
your life is
individual.
calling.
No, it's so individualistic. I mean, some people need to sit there and sit in their pain for unlimited amount of time. Some
And
people
be in the
deal with their
dark.
pain in a very
Depends
short
if you're
period of
introvert
time.
or extrovert.
I don't need 90 days to get over someone.
No, that particular situation I need.
I need like
Not
a
every
week.
situation.
But I might be with someone one day and in another relationship the next. I mean, that is just the way that I'm built. Some people are built differently. I think that a lot of people will tell you need all this time to heal, but they don't know me. They don't know how I'm built.
No, that's true.
I mean, at the end of the day, it just takes time to heal. It could be a day, it could be a week,
Exactly.
it could be a month.
Right.
It depends on the personality and, you know.
So when two people realize that they're not going to be together anymore,
And they have to
how
make
does
a
that-
graceful exit.
Exactly. How does that work? Like, how does that work? Especially if you have children or business intertwined, or like, how does that work? Friendships.
Space,
You said graceful, though.
outer space.
Well, if
graceful.
you have children in a business, I don't know how much space you can take to a certain degree. I mean, there's only so much space you could take. If you have none of those ties, then I think space, like Rhinestone said, is the easier thing to do. But and it depends how what happened, like what was the situation,
Right.
Did,
And how
was
entrenched
somebody
are
doing,
you?
huh?
And also, how entrenched are you? Because sometimes if you have a situation, you have kids, it might be like, oh, well, we agree upon something. But I think most of the times when there's a breakup, when there's a situation in which someone feels connected to somebody more than they should be, there's always one person who feels more than the other person at different times.
At different
it goes
stages,
back.
yeah.
It's like a chess match. So it goes back and forth. One person has the power and in the situation like, oh, well, I really don't care. That other person cares though. So then it flips back, and it's the slightest thing that makes somebody feel.
You gotta
like
let the bird go. And if
Bird?
Yeah, and if the bird is yours, it'll fly back. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I don't understand
I
that.
know a lot of people that let the bird go and the bird never came back, and they wish that the bird came back, and they wish they would have done
Or the
certain
bird,
things
or the
very
bird
differently.
came back and they smacked the hell out of everybody. The bird had wings, now the bird became a bat, and the bat didn't care, and it became a vampire. And so, you know what I'm saying?
I
The
mean,
story.
love is the foundation of our essence. So it's a very spiritual thing that we try to deal with on this physical cool business. But like for real, that's the bottom half of your spirit that you're dealing with. So if you just deal with it like, whatever, I don't care, you still got something up in there that's still up in there, and you might carry it from situation.
So
to
how do you
situation.
handle that? How do you handle that when you have to see somebody every day, whether you have children or your business
I
or
would
whatever
just
else?
every day.
Every day that you were involved with them.
Often. Just,
Often,
yeah.
okay, often.
He's
Often,
wordsmithing.
Often.
Oh,
We can get very specific, sir.
I'm saying that you minimize your exposure because in a point of healing, that might be what you need to do. Because otherwise, you're going to treat the other person unfair.
That's real cute. That's also an astronaut term.
I mean, I feel them though. In order to heal, you need to retreat.
Yeah.
You gotta retreat. You can't keep old energy active in your
I went to South
vibration. And you
Africa.
trying to move forward.
when I went to South Africa, there were townships where Nelson Mandela said the white people cannot be after dark. And this is why. Because the black people still needed to heal. And what they had seen from white people was that treacherous, where it was all bad, that if they couldn't see them, so they needed space. And I think that that's a part. Now that's the extreme political sense, but like I think people need space if you're really trying to heal.
Okay, so once you heal, can you still be in love with somebody and be friends with them after you?
Yeah, of course.
In love with someone, or
Like,
just
I-
love
Like,
someone?
you can love them and like
I
you
don't
know,
Like-
think about in love. But you could definitely love somebody.
The whole
afterwards.
connection that happens when somebody is like, oh, a spiritual connection beyond just like loving somebody or like,
That's a slippery slope, though. I mean,
yes,
is.
slippery
let's
slope.
keep it
We know
real.
the definition
If you have that
from-
kind of connection with someone and you stay friends with them, then what happens when you have 2 drinks too many, or you're
you're
out?
right back where you started.
Yes.
That depends on how far removed you from that situation.
Well, she's saying, but that soul tie, that soulful connection, it doesn't matter how far removed. Your souls
True.
are connected.
yeah. And the current boyfriend or girlfriend.
And
has
all
to
it needs is
understand
a little bit of opportunity.
And sometimes it's one-sided,
opportunity.
but sometimes it's one-sided. It might be one person that feels that same way.
Well, you better hope it's that way, because if it's both, if it's
Somebody's
both of
getting
you,
pregnant.
It's about to
I
go
don't know
down.
about them getting pregnant.
But, in every, but what we need to understand is that in every situation, love is good. Love is always good. That other
Yeah.
stuff that's bad isn't love.
Love is only good as long as you control your ego. Because if you
Well,
love
the
somebody,
ego is not good, but love is always good.
that's difficult though. Because people
well,
love.
we all have one.
We don't have one what?
We all have an ego.
Yeah, well, that joint is out to get you. Know
I
that.
think that's a part of being human, though, man. Like, yeah, you got an ego, but we also got free will, and we can consciously command how active our ego is in certain situations.
Depends on
through
your control of your
experience.
emotions. Because
Yeah,
some people
but
cannot control their ego.
Some people
beyond
can,
Their emotions
some
and
people
thoughts.
can to an extent, and some people have worked on it longer and can do it much better. So it really depends on the individual.
And another thing, if you don't fully heal, if you don't take your time, when that other person shows up, you're gonna be weak. and now,
You a sucker for love,
yeah,
baby.
you're gonna be weak. You might be in the wrong
I
situation.
know
You might be in
you've
the wrong
been
situation to be weak.
waiting on
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, you
But
might
you
need
know
a good
what?
24 hours to
Hey.
get over
Happy.
it.
It be like
To
that
get
sometimes.
the
Sometimes you might
job
be weak,
done.
and it might be that time, and you might need to do what you need to do with your ex. But you know, it all comes a time and place for everything.
Oh, the flesh
That's
is
what it
weak.
is. It is. We all human at the end of the
Don't start
day.
quoting Bible scriptures,
Oh
man.
God.
Don't.
Well,
Creflo.
any final thoughts
Creflo Grindstone over
before
here.
we end the show
like
tonight? Any final thoughts?
I would just say live, love, laugh, be happy. And whatever is for you is going to be for you. That's all.
You have love and you have fear and you have the option to choose.
Gabe?
I'm gonna just say love is pure, and I'm gonna leave it at that because everything else is contradictory
And unconditional.
and unconditional.
Man, that's real. Unconditional love is so hard to find.
And on that note, we will be here next Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you so much to our guest, Gabe, for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Hopefully you'll come back soon.
I will. I had a lot of fun and enjoyed myself tonight. Thank y'all for having me.
And I'm
Definitely.
signing
You're
off
welcome.
with my co-host, Grindstone,
We're saving social lives.
and our producer, The Urbanista,
Stay fabulous.
right here next time on WLVS, listenvisionlive.com.